The first point to bulletproof confidence in football is you are not defined by one game. Forget one game, 2 games, 3 games, 4 games. Who cares? You've done so much work behind the scenes to get to where you are right now. So how on earth does one game define you? We all know how chaotic football is, how many uncontrollables there are within the game of football. So for example, conceding a last minute free kick, how does that define you as a footballer or as a football coach? It just doesn't make sense. The process is what defines you. Putting in the work, day after day after day, week after week, late night after late night, early morning after early morning. That's what defines you as a footballer. If you're putting in the work and if you can genuinely look yourself in the mirror and say, you know what, I've given my all and I played badly. So what? I focus on the next action, the next game. That's what defines you as a footballer and as a football coach. Instead of resisting the reality that you're dealt with in that given moment, that's the scenario. Instead of resisting that, you say, you know what? I accept it. And I am going to show who I am in this given moment because I look to the truth to guide me in those difficult moments. And in fact, you don't even label it as a difficult moment. You just label it as a situation that you just have to deal with. Very simple. Accepting any scenario gives you tremendous power.
One team, one rejection means absolutely nothing. It does not define you as a footballer. Who said it does? If you want to go by that criteria, then you're setting yourself up for failure and disappointment because football is a game of opinion. It's all about opinion. You look at the best players in the world. One coach wrote them off. One coach said, you know what? This player is not good enough. So you cannot base your ability on one team's opinion of you or one coach's opinion of you. So just because you've been rejected or just because you've been released by an academy, it means absolutely nothing. You've got to focus on what's in your control, which is your work ethic. How are you going to bounce back? Why did they reject you? Because the truth will give you the way. The truth shows you the path to development, to becoming a better footballer. So the truth could be, I wasn't fast enough. I wasn't athletic enough. Okay, cool. Guess what I'm going to work on? My athleticism, my pace. I'm going to understand where I'm going to use my athleticism during the game. And those little details separate you from being a good player and an elite player. It's all about self-reflection and self-awareness.
And I'm pretty sure even in your best games, there are things that you could have improved. So even that game doesn't define you as a footballer. It's just a never-ending cycle. And the quicker you realize that, the more power you have over your own development, the quicker you can have bulletproof confidence. The truth, what is it? You always ask yourself, what is the truth? Is the truth that when the going gets tough, I don't step up? Or is the truth that when the going gets tough, the tough get going, and guess what? I am one of those tough people. I am going to get going, I'm going to find a solution, and I'm just going to keep going. Because the truth in football always reveals itself. So the next time you feel doubt creeping up in your mind, you feel a bit of lack of confidence, you feel a bit scared or nervous, or you feel a bit of fear before the game or during the game, go back to this. What is the truth? It's your persistence to keep going, game after game, training session after training session. One bad training session, so what? Just get on with it. Focus on the next action. One bad shot, so what? Focus on the next action. One bad dribble. Whatever it is, it does not define you as a footballer. So that means when you step out onto the pitch, it should liberate you. There should be no more fear. Because if one game does not define you as a footballer, then every time you step out on the pitch, you should just play freely, as if you don't care. It's almost like you're stepping out onto the pitch, like you don't really care. You're just giving your all, and that's it. And I'm pretty sure, right, when you give your all, you end up playing well. It's very rare that you give your 1000% effort and for some reason it doesn't work, especially if you've given 1000% effort before the game, weeks before the game, days before the game, training well, doing the game analysis, focusing on individual improvement day after day after day. So with all of that and your 1000% effort on match day, how can you not play well? It happens, of course, it does happen, but it's very rare. And when it does happen, on the rare occasion, once again, it should not define you as a footballer, which means you have bulletproof confidence, which means you are able to play like the footballer you envision every single night. I know that we all sit there and say, you know what, I know I can play like this. So what's stopping you? What's stopping you? This is the first step. Knowing that one game does not define you. And if that game does not define you, that's it. That's it. You are now liberated. You can now play freely. In a game, you've given the ball away. Is the truth that you're going to hide from the ball? That you're going to say, you know what? all the training sessions that I've done, all the match analysis that I've done, all the videos of Coach Rafa's that I've watched on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, all of that is going to go to waste, and now I'm going to play within myself and not express myself. It goes back to the truth. Or is the truth that when you give away one bad pass, the truth is that that does not define you as a footballer, so guess what you're going to do? You're going to focus on the next action. You know what? I need to write that down. The next action. The next action is the most important action. The next action could define your season. The next action could help your team get a win. The next action could impress the scouts that's watching you, and that could change your career. It's all about the next action, because the next action could be that action.
Football is like an art. It just keeps evolving. Every single day, there's a new perspective. There is never one right way to play football or see football. It's all down to opinion. You know what to improve on. Now you've got to ask yourself, do I really want to improve on this? Or do you see it as a potential waste of time where you're saying, okay, I'm going to work on this and improve on my weaknesses, but then what if I get rejected again? That's you thinking of things outside of your control. Only focus on the things inside your control. Your work ethic, your application, your attitude, your desire to improve. Are you watching players that play in your position? Are you really understanding the differences between you and them? What is it? Is it the way they turn in that central area of the pitch where it's congested? Is it their decision making? What is it about them that makes them a pro? And what is it about you that hasn't got to their level? And you've got to really get obsessed with improvement, with identifying, okay, this player in my position, why is he there and I'm not? Why is he playing in a stadium? Why is he wearing my shirt and I'm here watching him? What's the difference? What does he have that I don't? And you've got to have that sort of anger as well. That anger and aggression to say, you know what? I can't tolerate it. How on earth is there a player playing in my position at the pro game and I'm not there? If that doesn't make you angry, then simply put, perhaps professional football isn't for you.
Always ask yourself, what is the truth in this moment? And who do I become in those moments? That will guide you to the answer. And once you've found the guidance, you don't need anyone else. You just need yourself. You just need the knowledge, which is step number 3, by the way, which we'll get onto. You just need that sense of focus to just focus, as I said, on the next action and on the truth. Football doesn't stop for anyone. It does not care about your misses. It does not care about your misplaced passes. It does not care about your mistimed tackle. And now you're on a yellow card and now the coach is shouting at you and now you've put your team under pressure. It does not care about any of that. All football cares about is just keeping the game flowing. It's just about getting from minute 0 to minute 90, and that's it. So what do you have to do? You have to go in accordance with that. I can't stress this enough. You have to flow just like the game of football. Whatever happens has happened. Guess what? The time is still ticking. The time does not stop for you to say, oh, I missed, now I'm nervous. No. The time keeps going. Football is a ruthless sport. It just keeps going. So guess what you need to do? You need to be ruthless with yourself and you need to keep going. If you are able to synchronize yourself with football and connect with football, how can you not have bulletproof confidence? It just doesn't make sense. So it is all about the next action. Whatever happens, think done next, done next, done next. And the next step is acceptance. And that means you just accept who you are, you accept your situation, you accept your preparation before the game, you accept the in-game scenarios, you accept the conditions, you accept everything, and that in itself gives you the power. Because the moment you just sit back and accept everything that's happening, you are the one in control. You are the one with the most power. Acceptance means that you're just saying, you know what? I understand, I accept, and this is the scenario that I'm in. What am I going to do? What is the truth once I have accepted the scenario? It's all linked, ladies and gentlemen. It's all linked. The acceptance that all the preparation you've done before the game has put you in this scenario. The acceptance that one bad pass doesn't define you as a footballer. One bad action does not define you as a footballer. The acceptance that if your team concede a goal, it doesn't matter. It's about the next action, because that is the truth. You making one bad pass, does that take away hours and hours and hours of graft off the pitch behind the scenes when no one was watching? Does that really take away all your efforts? Does that make you a bad footballer? No. So it is all about the next action. You make 1, 2, 3 misplaced passes, just focus on the next action, because you can't go back in the past to correct it. And if you try to go back during the game, well, you're stuck. It just doesn't make sense. You have to focus now, now, now. Of course, you're going to think, oh, I made a bad pass. Wait, did my training not... You might start overthinking, but who's going to stop you? It's you. You need to stop yourself from overthinking. There has to be a switch button. So you catch yourself thinking, oh, I made a misplaced pass. Maybe my training wasn't as good as I... No. I focus on the next action, and that is it. Stop that voice in your head that is telling you, oh, maybe you weren't good enough. Maybe I was right. That bad voice telling you, maybe I was right. No, you shut it down by focusing on the next action. Because we all have that voice. You can never silence that voice. That voice will always be there. What you can do is determine its volume. Do you want to increase the volume and let it suffocate you and let it overwhelm you and let it affect your next action? Or do you say, you know what? I'm going to put it to volume 0.1. I can hear it, but I'm going to shut it down by focusing on the next action, by realizing who I am, by realizing that no action will define me as a footballer, that I've done all the work behind the scenes. Kobe Bryant said it himself. It's the process, not the destination. It's the journey, not the destination. It's the hard graft. It's the traveling. It's taking 3 trains to training, then taking 3 trains back on a cold January morning. It's all of that put into one. And that defines you as a footballer, as a dedicated, committed, talented footballer. And I repeat myself once again, if you have all of that and 1000% effort on match day, focusing on the next action, realizing that you are not defined by one game, you reach bulletproof confidence. Any football player or coach who clings onto false realities, who thinks about how things should have been instead of accepting that current moment, they've lost power. They are not powerful in that moment. They've let the situation get the better of them instead of them conquering that particular situation. Very, very important. Just accepting anything that you're dealt with and trusting yourself that you will find a solution, that you'll get over the line because you focus on the next action, because that is the truth.
A lot of players, a lot of young players look at pro players or look at very high level elite players and say, oh, they're just too good. Or, their uncle is the chairman. They know somebody, that's why they're there. You're finding excuses not to put in the work. That's the truth. If you put that to the side and you say, okay, what is it about this player that has got them to this level? I'm going to really study him. As angry as I am, the fact that he's in that situation and I'm not, I'm going to use that anger to give me the energy, to give me the drive to get to that level and then push on. I want to take his shirt. All those rejections, all those failures, all those moments where things may not be going your way, the perspective shift is that is what you needed. That is the thing. That is the drive that you need for your next club, for your next opportunity.
And now the next point is, you are the reason you play well or not so well. It is you. Taking accountability, taking ownership, taking responsibility for your own performance, it liberates you. We said that in point number 1. When you are not defined by one game, it liberates you. When you realize that it's all about the next action, that liberates you as well. It is down to you whether you play well or not so well. So that means it's in your control. And if it's in your control, what's stopping you? What's stopping you? It is you. The only reason you cannot play well game after game after game with consistency, it's you. It's your fault. It's your fault because you have not realized, for whatever reason, which is okay, you just haven't realized that you were not defined by one game. And football is all about the next action. That's all. So now that you've realized that, you can say, okay, how great is it that it is all under my control? My performance is down to me. It's not down to the pitch. It's not down to the journey. It's not down to the referee. It's not down to the opposition. It's not down to who we're playing against. It's not down to who's watching, how many people are watching. It's not down to my teammates. It's actually all down to me because I'm in control of my feet. I'm in control of my body and I am in control of my mind. As we said, you can turn the volume up and down of what you want to think. Do you want to think positive thoughts? By putting the volume up. I'm much better than this. Ignore that mistake. Who cares? Focus on the next one. On the next action. Okay, I've received the ball. Bang. Oh, what a pass. Well done. See, that's all your training that you've done. Positive thoughts or negative thoughts. Which one is it? You should be obsessed with increasing the volume of all those positive thoughts. Uplifting yourself. Giving yourself the confidence. Because guess what? You deserve it. You've done all the work off the pitch. You've done all the work behind the scenes. So now it's showtime. Give yourself the courage. Give yourself the freedom. Because it's all under your control. You are the reason you play well or not so well. It's down to you. And when you don't play well, it's okay. After the game, why haven't I played well? Why? Oh, it's because I was too obsessed with my thoughts. Okay, so in the next game, I'm going to be more conscious of those negative thoughts and reduce the volume, because my thoughts are under my control. Because one game does not define me, and football is about the next action. And if I do all of that, how can I not have bulletproof confidence? The more knowledge you have, the more aware you are of certain scenarios in a game, tactically, mentally, physically, socially, in a changing room before the game, whether you're with your teammates or you're speaking to your manager and you want to get more game time, how are you going to go about those scenarios? But that all comes from knowledge, from really understanding what it takes to get to the next level and devoting yourself to that process. Because once you have the knowledge, you will have the truth. And in those difficult moments, when you ask yourself, what is the truth? Guess what? Your knowledge will tell you that the truth is to focus on the next moment. And that's when you just accept that current scenario, you gain tremendous power, and then you take action. And then you discover more about yourself. You express yourself. You really show the world who you are. That true footballer that is there within you, that you've been waiting to show to the rest of the world. Or whether you're a coach, you really want to express your ideas in a certain way, but there are things that have been holding you back. With complete devotion to knowledge and developing your knowledge and really focusing on the process, you gain infinite power, and nothing, and I genuinely mean nothing, will be able to stop you. And that right there is how you gain a sense of unwavering confidence, bulletproof confidence, fearlessness. Nothing will faze you. That type of mentality. That's how you do it. Through knowledge, through acceptance, and through the truth. And asking yourself in difficult moments, what is the truth?
Do you say, yeah, that club rejected me, I'm not cut out for it, I'm going to focus on something else? Or do you say, that club didn't like me, they released me, which is good, because now I know what to improve on, so the next club that I go on trial for, I'm a better player, and there's a higher chance of me getting signed. And then when you're signed, you know the value of getting signed, and you'll do everything you can to keep your place, because you've experienced that rejection in the first place. That is the perspective shift. And if you're not cut out for that mental toughness, for how difficult it will be during those moments where you've just been rejected, you have to realize the hard truth, work on your weaknesses, work on the fact that, oh my God, perhaps I may not be a pro, but then you forget about that feeling and you just focus on the process. You focus on the grind every single day. That's all under your control, because it's all a mentality shift. It's all up in here, and you are in control of what you say to yourself in here every single day. It's down to you whether you want to tell yourself the narrative that I'm not cut out for a professional footballer, I'm just not good enough for it, forget about it, I'm going to do something else. Or you use that failure, you use that rejection as fuel, as energy, to become an even better player than you were before, to become the type of player that you envision in your mind every single night. You're thinking, oh, just imagine if I could play like this. Well, if you can imagine it, you can play like it. And it's just down to you to put in the work, to put in the mental energy, to put in the mental effort into making that imagination, that vision, a reality.
And once you're obsessed with the process, once you're obsessed with self-development, how can you stop? How can you feel sorry for yourself? How can you say, oh, maybe I'm not good enough? No, because you're so obsessed with development, with improvement, you end up having bulletproof confidence. It's you versus you, and it's down to you. I've said it a lot, but it's actually down to you whether you want to listen to the positive, uplifting thoughts, or you want to increase the power of those negative thoughts and let it overwhelm your performances. Those games that you've worked hard for, to be ready for. Why are you going to let your negative thoughts suddenly impact your performance, influence your performance in a negative way? Why? You deserve more than that. You owe it to yourself to give yourself the confidence, to give yourself the courage, and execute what you've done behind the scenes. Ladies and gentlemen, the job is not done once you've watched this video. The job has only begun. You have to do the work to find out the truth, to discover the truth in those difficult moments, to accept your current scenario and realize that those difficult moments are not actually difficult. And also to continuously devote yourself to leveling up your knowledge, to really upgrading your current level of knowledge, from tactics to mentality to psychology to physical health. All of those aspects fall under knowledge, and it's your responsibility. No one else is going to do it for you, by the way. It's down to you to really focus on upgrading your knowledge every single day, because that's how you become unstoppable, and that's how you develop, as I just said, an unwavering sense of bulletproof confidence. And the final point, and potentially the most important point, know, don't believe. What on earth does that mean? You need to know that you're destined for greatness. You need to know that there is a footballer within that is waiting to be unleashed, that is waiting for the world to see. The footballer that you envision every single day, every single night. That footballer, you need to know that you can perform like that on the pitch. If you believe it, it gives you a little room for doubt. If you believe something, there could be a part of you that says, you know what, maybe I'm not. But when you just know it, I know I'm destined for greatness. I know how good I am. I know that I can perform like this. That's when you tap in to bulletproof confidence. And that's when anything can happen on the pitch and you'll focus on the next action, because the next action could be your moment of greatness. You need to know that all those hours you've put in behind the scenes actually has made you a better footballer. You shouldn't doubt your effort. You shouldn't doubt your process behind the scenes. When no one's watching, what have you done? You shouldn't doubt that work. You shouldn't doubt that effort. You need to know that all of that has contributed to you becoming a better footballer. And now, as I've said before, it is showtime. But if you believe that you're a good footballer, if you believe, yeah, I believe I am, yeah, I think I'm a good footballer, yeah, I think my hard work has improved me, yeah, I think my hard work will help me on the pitch, that gives your subconscious room for doubt. And then when you make one little mistake during the game, that's when your doubt really kicks in. And then it's a conflict between doubt and your self-belief during the game, which should not happen. But if you know, if you have the knowledge, if it's a fact that your hard work has contributed to you becoming a better footballer, it's just showtime. So whatever happens in the game, you know that it's all part of the show. It's all part of your development as a footballer. So therefore, nothing can stop you. Nothing can stop you, and that makes you have bulletproof confidence. But that doesn't mean you become arrogant by saying, oh, I know I'm destined for greatness. No, 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 no. You need to earn the right to know you are destined for greatness, that you are a true footballer. You can perform the way you envision every single day. And how do you do that? You earn the right. What does that mean? You put in the hours, you put in the graft, you put in the work behind the scenes to get to a stage where you can look yourself in the mirror and say, you know what? I know I've done everything I can, and now it's showtime, and now it's game day. And whatever happens on the pitch will happen, and I can only benefit from it. I can only improve from it. So therefore, I have nothing to lose. And that should give me total power, total freedom to express myself and play the way I know I can play. And I'll repeat myself one more time. The job is not done. The job has only begun. It's your responsibility to put this into action. Now, I strongly recommend that you watch this video again and again and again. In moments where you're feeling a bit down, come back to this video.